everyone, today I'm here to show you some thoracic mobility exercises. Your thoracic spine runs from here to here, so the base of the neck to the bottom of the rib cage. And the reason that we care to have optimal mobility in this area is because if you have insufficient mobility, your body might look to compensate by using the areas above and below, such as your neck and your shoulder or your low back. So having optimal thoracic mobility will prevent you not only from having pain in your thoracic spine region, but also the areas above and below. If you're not sure whether you have sufficient thoracic mobility, feel free to check out my video on thoracic mobility requirements. The movements that I see most often restricted are extension and rotation, so those will be the focus of this video. Here are some exercises that you can do with no special equipment needed. Let's start with extension. For this one, you want to sit with your butt on your heels, so that takes your lumbar spine out of the question. And for this one, also make sure that you're not leading with your neck, because then that's just a cervical extension. And we want to think about extending between here and here. So start with your elbows bent. This is basically just a kneeling push-up, and then push your body straight up. And you should feel this between your shoulder blades. And then bend, and then push straight up. Bend, and push straight up. Just like this. This next one is also for extension, but focusing on one side at a time. So you're going to go back into a kind of a modified child's pose position, again keeping your butt on your heels. And then here, also as with the first one, you don't want to be lifting your neck with it to confuse cervical extension with thoracic. So kind of keep your head relaxed, kind of looking down, and then lift one arm straight up towards the ceiling. And then the other. And again. And the other. Just like this. This next one for rotation, I want you to pretend that there is a clock on the wall behind me. And for this, like the others, you keep your butt on your heels to take the lumbar spine out of the question. Go down on one forearm, have one hand on the back of your neck, and then rotate up. And as I rotate, if there's a clock on the wall behind me, my elbow should be pointing at 10 o'clock. And I'll go again, and remember to keep your butt down as you do this. And my elbow should be at 10 o'clock. And of course, on the other side, it would be the opposite. So forearm down, elbow on the back of the neck, keeping the butt down, rotating up, my elbow should be pointing at about 2 o'clock. Down, and again. I like how that one feels. Another rotation exercise that you can do is in this lunge position on the wall. Ideally, you would have a pillow or a ball between your knee and the wall so that your knee can kind of press into a bit to avoid moving throughout this exercise. But if you don't have that, that's okay. Just be diligent with keeping the knee still. So for this, you start with your hands together, and then you open up, and ideally, you flatten your forearm on the other side of the wall. And remember to lead with your head, because that can help you gain that range of motion. And if you can't get that far, like let's say you can only go here, that's okay. Just go as far as you can, go back to the beginning, try to go a bit farther on the next repetition, and eventually with time, if you do this regularly, you'll be able to flatten out. Another exercise that helps with extension is a cactus stretch, or I've heard it called a wall angel before. I like to sit like this with my knees bent because it keeps my pelvis in a posterior tilt and flattens my lumbar to get that out of the equation. So for this exercise, you want to engage the core and prevent your ribs from flaring out. Put your arms up like this and try to keep your forearms against the wall as you slide them up and down, like this. And remember to keep that core engaged and the forearms against the wall. Give those a try, and if you want more options and have a foam roller at home, then check out my video on thoracic mobility exercises with a foam roller.